How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video discussing the creeper known as Onision. This is another one of his videos, my YouTube success story or lack thereof, YouTuber Onision. Alright, let's just get this over with.
Hey there, I actually look okay in this lighting.
Yeah, I doubt it. By the way, you're blurred, so nobody will actually see what you look like. I mean, we already know what you look like, but at the same time, nobody wants to see your videos.
That's, I have a self-esteem.
Or lack of.
And it's not always fantastic. I wanted to talk about YouTube. I blamed YouTube for a long time. I was mad at YouTube. I think a lot of us were. Because we were getting demonetized. We were getting treated in a way that we thought wasn't fair. And I say we...
No, I think what happened to you was actually fair, especially with, some of the content that you've produced. And at this point, with how destructive your content is, people reacted accordingly. So you kind of deserve that one.
A lot of people. And there was a major shift in YouTube. But I wanted to show you guys this. I did some analytical stuff. I looked at graphs and charts and so forth.
Bullshit.
I think those are the same thing. And I started to realize the more I looked into stuff that YouTube is not the problem. I am the problem.
I'm going to say this right off the bat, or at least just say this now. I don't think he truly believes that. I think deep down he's going to continue to blame other people for what's happened to him, even though he did it to himself.
I am the problem. And I have been the problem for a long time. In fact, there's a YouTuber, won't mention their name.
Gee, I wonder why. Actually, there's a ton of YouTubers that have discussed you, so, yeah.
But the moment 2016 was happening, that whole Trump election, and just generally everything.
Yeah, because blame the elections for your misfortune and your crappy behavior. Yeah, continue to blame that. It's like when that cosplayer that was groping other cosplayers was blaming her behavior for ADHD. Don't. Because it's just a bad look for you, really.
Bad year for a lot of people. That was Adpocalypse year. But when all that was going down, somebody warned me. They said, hey, your attitude right now, it's bad. It's a little bit crooked, kind of like this camera. And so,
just so you know, a lot of people were telling you that your behavior was bad. And this was way before the election, so you can, cut that crap out.
So I started saying bad things in my videos. I ignored them, and I just focused on bad. And
no, you did that way before. You can stop.
More bad I focused on. More people looked at, everything around me as bad. My aura was, off. And I myself became unwatchable. Frickin' heckin' watchable. If you would click on my videos, and you saw me talk for 3 seconds, you would be like, this guy is not good.
No, it's funny you say that, because I will say that the videos that made me realize that your content is shit, and as well as your ethics, is again the videos where you were rating underage girls. So, and then, by the way, that was years before all this was going on when it comes to the steady decline or increased decline, there we go, of your channel.
This guy, I couldn't sit in a room with this guy and listen to him because he's so oblivious to how he is acting.
That is literally the best way to describe your behavior.
Then I look at other people and I go, why are they successful? Why do they get views? Why did they get likes? Why do they get all this stuff? And the answer is because they're likable. They don't make content that is so narcissistic that it makes them unrelatable and very difficult to even remotely enjoy.
Well, I mean, let's face it, isn't that how it usually is when it comes to you creating content? You're creating a supply and demand for a lot of people. And when it comes to, like for instance, Markiplier. Markiplier, for the most part, he's very likable when it comes to the gaming community. Jacksepticeye. He is another, individual who is very, and yes, I'm using, some of the gamer people. They have a likable personality for those people. But, let's go for more of the political, okay? For instance, especially when it comes to these people, I should point out, too, they're consistent. And using two examples, let's say if we were to go to political, like to the political YouTubers that talk about news and stuff. When it comes to viewpoints, people like the Young Turks, they are consistent. That's all I'm going to say about them. Let's talk about, the quartering. That's another example. Somebody who talks about, news, gaming, various other topics. They're very consistent, especially when it comes to their personality and their ethics, supposedly. And I say supposedly also to the Young Turks. People like Sargon of Akkad, who is very consistent and at this point has a sort of moral high ground. You, on the other hand, and that's another thing, moral high ground. You, on the other hand, Greg, I'm not going to call you James, Onision, your moral high ground is shaky, especially since back and forth you change your ethics. So a lot of people can't really tell what you're for. 1 minute you're claiming that racism is bad, but you're going on, judging and ridiculing people for their hair, claiming that they are quote unquote unclean because of the way they, take care of their hair, because it doesn't fit your standards, which really, what is your standards? And that brings up another point, is your singular mind thinking that everybody is a hive mind or same as basically cookie cutter to everyone else, when they're not. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own hair type, body type, skin color. We're all human, but at the same time, we're all different. We're not the same as you. You can cut that shit out. Oh, and by the way, another reason why a lot of people were freaking shitting on you was, videos like that. The fake freak out videos. Which, I'm surprised a lot of people that were reacting to your videos didn't go into, start doing a drinking game, considering, how consistent, or at least when it comes to the, just immediate freakouts you did for those videos. So, I'm just surprised that you even thought that was a good idea.
Let me tell you something about Donald Trump, okay? Not a lot of people know this, but before he was running for president, he had a failed YouTube channel.
Why are you even talking about Donald Trump? I thought this was talking about your YouTube channel. So what's Donald Trump got to do with this? And I feel like you're just kind of finding things to talk about instead of actually, discussing, what you were going to talk about originally.
I kid you not. Majority of his videos...
In fact, I gotta ask, because at this point, with a lot of his earlier rants, they were about, 20, 30 minutes long, where he's just, for 30 minutes, bullshitting, repeating himself. Is this where you're coming to, where it's 5 minutes and you're that fucking lazy to the point where you're talking about Trump? Makes no sense.
Had a likes to dislikes ratio that was awful. It was bad. And he shared views that were purely narcissistic, that were purely high, me Donald better than all y'all.
I don't know why you're complaining, dude. If anything, I'm surprised you're not good friends with him, considering how much of a narcissist you are.
And I may have adopted that attitude when the president was elected. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, no, you've always had it when it comes to your channel and your views.
it didn't help me a whole lot. Yeah, but I did want to say, like, to YouTube, I blamed a lot on the site. And there are shortcomings of the site since 2015. That aside, YouTube wanted us to clean up our act, and I personally think that sucks. But ultimately, what YouTube doesn't want people to do is bum their audience out. And I am very, very good at bumming my audience out.
No, I think you're very good at creeping your audience out, or creeping the audience in general.
So there's a lot to learn. I'm very ignorant about a lot of things, but ultimately, check this out. This is one of my videos, right? And the suggested section is low. Not really suggested to people.
Again, it's blurred, so you're not going to see.
And what suggested means, like, there's this YouTube page, right? Where you can see a video, and then to the right, there's all these video suggestions, right? YouTube used to make almost every single video it had, like 60% of its traffic was suggested. And then suddenly, YouTube started making only a select few videos 60% suggested. So YouTube just destroyed an enormous amount of channels.
Or, they destroyed themselves with, with the fact that some of the content creators are shitty.
Laughing at me, aren't you? You laugh! I felt like YouTube had some kind of agenda against me. I felt like they were out to get me because my videos had tanked like so many people.
No. It wasn't just because your videos tanked. It was because a lot of the drama that that pretty much you were in when it comes to your behavior. Not to mention, several people that were coming forward with some of their experiences. And unfortunately, a certain individual, whether you like him or hate him, I'm indifferent at this point when it comes to that individual, came across your story and then, thought that you would be, the way to make a quick buck or make a come around when it comes to his career. By the way, so far, I will say, when it comes down to that whole thing, I can't believe a lot of people were thinking that, Onision was immediately going to go to jail. I hate to shit on people, but it's like, as we talked about it on the channel itself, that individual was not the end all be all. That individual, who I will not name on this channel or on this video, though you guys could probably guess who I'm talking about, was not the end all be all. He continuously claimed there was an investigation, but to some extent, talk isn't actually proof. And so far, it's been, almost a year? Longer, maybe? And still nothing. I will say that some things came out during this whole thing, during this whole quote-unquote story. Like, for instance, what happened to some of his children. Particularly, I believe it was his daughter when it came to her falling out of a second story window. And a few other things. But all in all, also, by the way, it also showed us the integrity of Greg when he wants to challenge people into quote-unquote debates or quote-unquote talks. Yet when an individual who has, all the right to go up to his house and knock on his door, he cowers in his house. So, yeah, it just goes to show the integrity of, Greg.
People, so many channels have literally become deceased since 2016, and it sucks. But it's also the new game, and because YouTube is the only option in town, there's not a lot you could do about it, other than go to TikTok.
Joke's on you, I have TikTok. And I have a feeling if you went to TikTok, you probably would be taken down immediately, Greg.
But speaking of which, I actually did this video. Check this out.
Yeah, I'm not going to show it. and it sounds so wrong with just the audio. I'm not gonna be surprised if that is on TikTok. It probably was taken down.
That's good. And apparently that was a problem for some people because that video got me in some trouble.
No shit.
But it was temporary trouble. Apparently it's like a dangerous act to lick carpet. Tell that to... Never mind. Anyway, I go through a lot of phases. You know, like there's like an angry phase. Because if you see baby cat, and there's like this, oh, hey, how you doing phase. And then there's this other phase, which is like sad. That's the most popular phase right now. I'm really depressed like all the time.
Yeah, I doubt it.
So don't expect this to be a thing, me talking and me being non-negative. You just really got to ride that Onision coaster to see where it's going.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, fucking hell. This guy's so full of himself.
Because I can't tell you where it's going. I could be shot into space by Elon Musk in a week. You don't know. Anyway, in the comments section, I want you guys to answer the question, did you actually watch the entire video? And everybody who doesn't comment that they watched the entire video didn't watch the entire video. And so,
well, unfortunately for you, dickhead, I ended up reacting to your video as well as rebuttal. And no, I'm not going to comment on your video. Because more than likely, if I do leave a comment, you're probably just going to delete it anyways. Because you have a fragile ego. But, you know, to each his own, I guess.